Listening to Troy.
Every time I hear the word meanwhile, I automatically just go, because I grew up like I was born in the late 70s, so I have the early 80s, and like Super Friends, I think, started 79, but it went to like the early 80s. So it's like, meanwhile, that's all I hear. And like it's still like people make fun of it. It was like, no, you don't understand, dude. I whenever someone says meanwhile, that's all I hear. I don't even see it because it came from the graphic novels, of course. People just put up meanwhile because it was a great way to transition from panel to panel and have you understand this is at a different place and at a different time. But at the same time,
all in one word.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice. And it was so weird. I did not, I don't know what it was about. There's just some kids that were Coke and some people that were Pepsi. And I just grew up and I was Marvel. Marvel was what I was drawn to. I have no idea. I don't know if it was because, even though the first graphic novel I picked up was the Batman comic. Like, so technically I should have been actually predisposed to.
Was there a certain like hero that you were drawn to?
Loved Batman, but then like I know where I was when I started reading Daredevil. I was in this small town of, what was the name of it? Oh gosh,
Hell's Kitchen. That would have been.
No, that would have been awesome. I don't think it was Kilgore. I think it was Bank. I think it was in Bank, Texas, to be honest with you. And I was my dad was doing business, and he said, here's probably just the smallest amount of money possible. And he was like, I'll see you in like 6 hours or something, or 4 hours. And he just dropped me off in the town square. And I was like right in front of the courthouse. It was like a Marty McFly situation. I was like, I was in Hill Valley and I could just like walk around, and I would go see Goldie and go get a freaking soft drink or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Soda pop?
A soda pop. Give me something for free. Like, you want to just put, you want a tab, better pay something for it. Was it? Give me a Pepsi free. It's like, you want a Pepsi, you got to pay for it.
Troy, I think we're all too young for that reference.
The future? Come on, people know what I'm talking about.
Was it Back to the Future? Then I understand it.
Give me a tab. You want a tab? You gotta get something first. Give me something without any sugar in it. Get some cup of coffee. So anyway, I started reading. Like, there was the comics book either 25, 50, or 75 cents, and then like the really big ones were $1 or whatever. And so I had enough to get like 3, because I read one. The guy was like, "Hey, you need to pay for something." And so I was like, "Shit." So I was like, I can buy 3, and I can pick the rest of this series of Daredevil. And so I burned through Daredevil. And once I finished him, I started over again. I kept reading him. So Daredevil was kind of like my first one that I fell in love with. And as well, that may have been right after. Yeah, it probably would have been after the Frank Miller run, because Frank Miller was like
the 70s. Man with No Fear run, I think.
Called. Yeah. Which I have actually now somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What's up, everybody? I need to find a cooler way. Like, eventually it'll get there. Just say hello to people.
Finger guns.
Yeah, I don't. It is, man. It has been such a. It was an interesting weekend, and subsequent interesting Monday. But I've really been taking. I take a lot of joy in like starting to see slowly. Like, we launched the new episode of Legit with Don Roberts. Man, God, Don Robertson. just that guy, man. If you haven't listened to it, please go listen to it.
Or if
It
you're
is
halfway through, because it is 2 hours long,
it is
you would only be able to listen to a quarter of it so far.
What would it take? It was interesting because I had updated. I was like, I just want to make sure I give myself enough time, because we had to block off enough time to make sure that Pam and I are having to really be communicative about like each other's schedule right now. And so I was like, I want to make sure I have enough time. So I changed in the calendar invite from 1 hour to 2 hours. I didn't realize that would send him a message, and he could have like just instantly emailed back and go, hey, yo, I didn't even know we were going to go for an hour. And he just like right before he started, he goes, accepted. And went, he's going to be in for 2 hours if I want him to be. And so every time I was just kind of like waiting for him to get out, and he was just in it the entire time. So it's been one of my favorite conversations, and someone that I was genuinely fanboying over. But anyway, that went up today, and slowly but surely, I think people are seeing kind of more what this whole platform is about. It's not about Troy making content. It's actually about the community making content. It's more about, like, Tom, you did Prompt yesterday, and people were just exploding over it. It was great to see people wrote songs about this. People have been sharing that with us on Twitter throughout the week. We're going to see what more people did off of Prompt. There's been other people that are showing up for our Saturday movie screenings, and there's been a lot of people that have come and said, hey, I really want to start doing something. There's some things that I'd like to do, and the whole the desire that I had, the whole reason why I even started this was because my ultimate goal, the dream for this, is for this thing to become, for Relator to be a platform for other people to achieve their dreams. Like, I want to build a dream factory. I want, if you have a book that you're writing, maybe we can publish it. If you have a movie that you're writing, maybe we can produce it. If is there a game that you're making, we can help develop it or publish it. Like, that's what I want to do with this. And it's an ambitious goal, and it will be my probably my last act on this planet will be signing a document, hopefully granting someone the means of the funds to be able to do whatever they want to do. So like that is my desire. That is my dream. If you think this is about me playing some games or whatever, that's not what this is. I want to promote discourse, and I want to promote people's dreams. So throughout the course of that, we've been kind of like pinging through different people and starting to begin conversations about what that would look like and how we can activate it and engage with people within the community. And in particular, there's been like 3 opportunities that we've seen. Like, boom, boom, boom. Let's do those 3 things. And some of those we're going to be able to talk about later on. But the first one that we've been like slowly, and these, trust me, they've been very, very patient with me for the last week. The one that we're super excited to launch like this week, right? It is this week.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes.
Everyone's nodding. Tomorrow. God bless America. Are 2 people that you guys obviously know. Let's bring them on. Lily K and Katie V, who have been doing a podcast already about their passion and their knowledge over film and TV. So I was like, well, that's kind of like, we touch base on that a little bit on Saturday, but we really don't do anything that's like in depth. And everybody knows that whenever there's any question, or especially a higher, more intellectual conversation about film, these are the 2 people that primarily speak up. Not, discounting or disenfranchising anybody else there in the chat that does talk about movies. But we have it from a different perspective. Like, Danny Madrigal is going to talk to it from a filmmaking standpoint. Lily and Katie are going to talk to it from a educated, emotional, visceral, and informative perspective. Anyway, I wanted to give you, I'm talking it up. I want you guys to kind of talk a little bit about what this podcast is going to be, and why people should listen to you, and when they can listen to.
Well, first of all, yes. Hello there.
Hi.
Yes, welcome to the show.
See, it's weird. It's weird, right? Saying hi.
That's how Lily starts our podcast at the moment. Anyway, she starts every episode with, "Well, hello there."
Yes, It's my thing.
It's her thing.
Damn it! All right, so I will avoid doing that, because that would have been my thing. It's like, well, hello there. If you're like, no, that's Lily's thing. Like, shit. Okay,
it's fine. You can use it, Troy.
Lily does that, and then I have to figure out how I want to say hi every week.
And then
which usually comes out with me just going, "Hi."
Well, most times when I
Got this beforehand.
it's like halfway through a conversation with himself. And it's like, where can I find a place?
Here's the thing. Mainly, and I like do 3 different things. So if you can track me, you can track anybody. So tell me, what is this podcast? I mean, tell everybody else, because we've been talking about this. What is this podcast? What can people expect? And what do you think makes your podcast different?
Ooh. Well, I don't know about the last one, but I'll go for the other 2 first. Well, first of all, it's pretty much going to be the same as we've had before, but we're having a little name change. So folks who know us as Katie and the Leak Age of a Film podcast can find us now at To All the Films We Judged Before, which is what the name of our new podcast is. We put it together as like a love letter from 2 cinephiles is what we kind of have as our little
so good
tagline.
Right.
Yes. And it is pretty much going to be as we were doing before. Lily and I just come up with something we want to talk about that week. Sometimes it's a review. We have a couple of guests that we've been talking to that we've recorded and are very good. We're excited for you to hear those. Or we'll just talk about like a random topic to do with film in general, and we'll talk about a bunch of things within that. Yeah, and then we just riff about it for like an hour and a half for the most part.
Unless it gets really carried away and we talk for 2.5 hours.
Dude, I'm down for the carried away.
Yeah.
We love our tangents. We love just, being able to talk about not just movies, but TV shows as well that we really, really love. I think what makes us interesting to our listeners and now to the people who are going to watch it on YouTube as well is that Katie talks from a more educated point of view, and I'm more of the emotional person, so sometimes we clash on things which can make it really funny, because at the end we always just be like, okay, let's agree that we disagree, or maybe someone changes someone else's mind, but it's always fun, and we did make the discovery that it's definitely one of the highlights of our weeks when we do the podcast. So yeah, I think it's gonna be all around fun. At least it was so far. So hopefully it's gonna continue. We
have a great time.
One of the things that drew me to it was, first of all, you guys, and being 2 people that really kind of know how to model and demonstrate kind of what this community is all about, and also that how to disagree. That's a reason why it's like we don't need to do a podcast about TV and film. It's fun to do one, but we don't need to do one. But it's a great opportunity for people to look at the same thing, disagree, and find the best way to argue it, as opposed to, well, let's just, I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue. It's like, no, let's learn how to argue effectively. There may be a lot of people here that remember, or scarily probably, the reality is most people don't, Siskel and Ebert. Siskel and Ebert were 2. This is one of the things that drew me to what you guys were talking about. I was like, here's what I see. I see a Gene Siskel and a Roger Ebert, 2 film critics from 2 competing papers in Chicago, one from the Chicago Sun-Times and one from the Chicago Tribune. And they notoriously, famously, always disagreed. And somebody had a brilliant idea. It was like, what if we put them into a show together and made them judge movies? And they became the preeminent source for whether or not people went to go see movies. Before there was Metacritic, before there was Rotten Tomatoes, it was Siskel and Ebert, give it 2 thumbs up. And that's literally was their rating system, the most archaic, romantic version of voting. It was either yay or kill it. And how many times they were like this? It was one felt yes, one felt no. So that if these 2 people that they trusted their opinion said, we both liked it, it was like, holy shit, it's a movie for anybody. And so that, I love having that kind of credibility. And I know that's something that you guys were aspiring to do, and not aspiring, but striving to do. I like that word a lot better. You're working towards that goal so that people can look and go, dude, if Lily and Katie both like this movie, that means that, boom, I will. That means that I won't, because they both, their opinions vary from mine. But again, the thing that I love about this podcast is going to give us an opportunity to not only just look at film, but also look at TV, where there's so much great content, and be able to look at it from, like you said, 2 different perspectives, and be able to demonstrate discourse and a great way to argue and disagree healthfully, friendly, and responsibly. And that is going to start. Go ahead.
On top of that, we'll get to learn more about Katie and Lily.
Dude, well said. Thomas A. Breck, the A, of course, for Aloysius.
Close.
The best part of this is that there's so many people in this community that don't know each other, and they'll be in the same chat room. They'll be in the same chat room. My God, this chat room.
Early 2000s.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
1998 again.
Try.
Yeah, dude, I'm back on web crawler and going through chat rooms. I was talking to Don Robertson about this. I was like, "You've been doing this in chat rooms." He goes like, "Yeah." And yes, you've been doing social media since before there was a name for it. Oh man. But yeah, that's exactly it. Like, this is an opportunity for people to. This is the same reason why we're doing the writers' room, why we're doing Relator Reads. It's opportunities for smaller groups to get in and go, "I've seen you before in chat, or I've seen you before in the stream. I've never actually talked to you, and I didn't know that we had this thing in common." So we really encourage you guys to engage with this podcast, to watch, and not only just observe, but also to participate in it, comment on it, talk about it, reach out to Lily, reach out to Katie, and find ways to let them know how you feel about it. Let us know how you feel about it. It's going to be on the Relator platform every Tuesday, right? We're doing Tuesday,
Yep.
Tom. What are we doing?
Tuesday at 12 noon.
Tuesday at noon PST. So that's going to be 12, 4, and 9, 12, 4, and 8.
8.
8,
Yeah, so it's changed now. So 12, 3,
No,
and
because
8.
if it was at 1, when movie nights are at 1 for you guys, so it's always
That's
at
what it
9 for
is.
us. So it's
Yeah.
like 12 is 8.
8 hours ahead from us.
Yeah.
Or in the UK, and then do the math from there. If you're in Paris, I don't know if you have anybody watching in Paris. I do know there's this one guy that says, please, he's one of the first comments always. He's like, please put subtitles in Spanish. I'm like, please tell me how to do that. I have no idea how to do that. I know that
It's a
YouTube has like an
shame.
algorithm that says
Yeah,
you live in a
YouTube
Latin
used
country.
to have this thing where you could like community generated subtitles,
Okay.
but they've taken it away now, which is really annoying. Because I
But-
think people were abusing the power that they have,
Oh,
basically.
of course.
And I don't think you can use it on the live stream. Like I don't think.
Oh
that's
yeah, not on the
possible
live stream,
anyway.
but like for
So
And I
it
think
was weird.
the way now is like I would have to do it, and I don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
Why?
I know that
Very
YouTube.
dyslexic.
YouTube allows it. It's kind of Spanish. It's the very weird version of Spanish. I know that YouTube allows the opportunity for, like you can choose. Like I live in this country, and so they're like, okay, we'll default to English subtitles. So I want you to know. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, we hear you, and we're trying to figure it out. So be patient with us. Be patient and supportive of Lily and Katie as they start all the movies we've judged before, starting this Tuesday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, and 8 GMT. That's probably what we say, not BST, because you're not in Southern time anymore. You just be
yeah,
like
it's GMT.
It's GMT, yeah.
which is the Greenwich Mean Time, with the world sets their clocks by. So that is the announcement that we have, guys, for you today. We have a lot more coming up this week. If you haven't checked out Legit, please go do it.
If you were in the middle of watching Legit,
Go
please
back to
go
it.
You can go back and watch it.
Just
Um,
continue.
And then, of course, we have the writers' room on Wednesday. If you're like not sure what we've got going on, Patreon is the best way to find out what our kind of schedule is. It also gives you the ways to not only just observe our content, but also to participate in it. If you are a writer in this community, it's been something really, really cool. Whether you are a editorial writer, a novelist, a poet, a screenwriter. We even had songwriter in there. This is just talking about the process of specifically writing as it applies to literature and to the screen or to novels or to poetry. But it looks like we may be doing some kind of cool music podcast, some kind of form for that as well. I think that'd be really cool. LASC, which is Los Angeles Songwriters Collective, run by Wayne Miller. If you're a songwriter, is a great resource for you as well to get plugged in with other songwriters, regardless of where you are in the world. So it's going to be Mondays are Legit, which is Let's Get Into It, our podcast where we sit down one-on-one. I sit down one-on-one and have a conversation with someone that I feel is of interest. This week is Donald J. Robertson, who's the author of How to Think Like a Roman Emperor. Fantastic book. He's also got a graphic novel that he's working on that will be probably out next year. Tomorrow is to all the films I've judged before. I love that podcast. Sorry, or that name is just sticking in my head. With our very Lily K and Katie V. That'll be Tuesday at noon. Wednesday is Relator Writers Room, which is our opportunity to come and sit and be a part of and hear from other writers, to share the material that you're working on, get critique, get some encouragement from other writers. And then Thursday and Friday, we kind of chill. I think we're going to be doing some game stuff Thursday and Friday, especially with all the games that we've got coming out. And then, of course, Saturday is our live streams. Later takes whomever to the movies. I don't know what we're going to do this weekend. What are we going to do?
Not sure yet. I want to do Into the Spider-Verse because of Miles Morales. but-
See, I was going to say, oh yeah, Into the Spider-Verse would be great. Is that out this week?
Oh,
They just
It
put it
is.
up on Netflix in
It's
the
on
UK
Netflix.
as well.
Yeah.
Are we
Okay,
doing
so
that?
maybe we'll do. I would love to watch Into the Spider-Verse again. Okay, cool.
It's a great
If you
movie.
haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse, please let us know, because that's how we choose who we're going to take to the movies. And what that means is that we actually pull you in to the cave, into our private little Zoom chat, and we get to hear from you, your thoughts real time as we watch a movie that you've never seen before, that hopefully all of us have. It's the only theater that you're encouraged to talk in. And then Sunday will be Prompt, that has a special guest host this weekend. And we do it all over again next Monday. So that's what's coming up. Special announcement, Lily K and KDV. Please check out their content. It's going to be called To All the Films We've Judged Before, every Tuesday starting tomorrow at noon. Go support them. Stay rad.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Nailed it. Bam.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.